Once again, good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, 5 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock. Good afternoon or good morning to the crew out there in Thailand, because we know Keron would have advocated for the show, so people would have had their coffee. What is this drink to keep up in Thailand? In Trinidad, we drink coffee. What is drink in Thailand?
Are they same thing, man? Coffee, and good vibes.
Thailand is like Chinese, right?
I mean, no.
I don't know. I don't know. I see the barbecue dog was. I don't know. It's beyond me.
They do eat some wild things, you know. They do eat some wild things, but nah. Definitely. I think everybody that has come from China or lived in China has said it's a completely different vibe. Kind of like how every Caribbean island is a completely different vibe, even though we're all next to each other. It's the same thing with Asia. Everybody completely different vibes, even though, you know, they're all in the same vicinity.
Nice. And where's Preston coming from?
Hey, let me hold on. I'll be introducing him and telling everybody. Right. But listen, the man owes me a little ackee and saltfish or some jerk or something.
Yeah, make no joke there. Jamaica he come from.
Lord God. Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon.
I was in Jamaica just well, Keron, you and I bounced up in Jamaica a couple times, you know. I'm back in Jamaica right after Carnival. We're back on the island of Jamaica. Beautiful island, very hot. I learned to appreciate my son in Trinidad. When I get his son in Jamaica, I'm like, wait, is he same son? I ain't like left the airport and I thinking to myself, damn. But the greatest thing about Jamaica is the 3.5 to 4 hour drive from Kingston to Mobay on Knutsford. I'm like, oh, you're not serious. And I heard that is the shorter version. It could be 6 hours.
Listen, it's good. It's a good scenic drive. Just enjoy that you're in Jamaica. Get some pan chicken and some festival, and you're good to go. Enjoy the ride. Drink a tour, a red stripe, and you're good to go for that long drive.
The red stripe I go drink. You see the Ray and nephew? You see the Ray and nephew?
Forget that.
Forget that. We Trinidadians have an appreciation for oak. Ray and nephew and ain't cutting it.
Forget that.
I'm not talking all your drinking. But I had the Ray and nephew and I'm like, damn.
I go dead.
Hold on. Ray and nephew any different from punching?
Yes.
I don't like the taste of Ray and nephew. I don't like the taste of
sweet
Ray and nephew.
It's a kind of sweet. That mess you up, man.
Yeah, man. Ray and nephew will mess you up, man. No, absolutely. I don't drink it. It's too strong for me. It's too strong for me.
It's too strong.
I think from my experience in consuming alcoholic beverages, there's nothing wrong with the blend of Ray and nephew. I think it's the sweetness, you know. It does, remember, a sweet alcoholic beverage can serve as a creeper. And when it does, it could upset your stomach if you overdo it. With some of the local drinks we have here in Trinidad, where it's a bit blah, and, you know, there's not that sweet taste in it. So that's the thing for me. Everybody's palate is different.
So basically what Davey just told you is they brought him to Jamaica. Nobody told him about Ray and nephew, but he messed around and he found out.
No. I went to Pegasus. I was in this big thing. I want to say good afternoon to one of my avid listeners, Donovan White. You know Donovan. And I went to Pegasus and we had this whole conference that we were doing. And when we got to Pegasus, Ray and nephew was the brand and they offered me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try Ray and nephew. And I said, no. But great drink all the same, you know. We ain't vexed. We love it all the same. It's not a bad beverage. It's just one of those beverages, you know, that
absolutely.
Know. Yeah. So Mr. Preston, I want to say good afternoon to you and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Freedom 106.5. Welcome to Digital World.
Good afternoon,
Keron
sir.
Rose. That's Keron Rose up there.
Yes, man. I appreciate the welcoming. Trinidad is my second favorite island.
So we know that. So before we get Kadion in, let me introduce Kadion so you guys understand who this man is and what this conversation is about today. So if you are looking to build your business and sell online, this is a really good conversation for you, right? Now, Kadion is someone who has been at the forefront of innovating in e-commerce in the Caribbean and has been making waves in the business landscape throughout the region. He is the co-founder CEO of Caribshopper. Kadion is a visionary entrepreneur who has turned his passion for technology and Caribbean culture into a groundbreaking online marketplace. Caribshopper connects Caribbean-made products to a global audience, empowering regional artisans and businesses to thrive in the digital economy. With over 2 decades of experience in the tech industry and a track record of leading successful ventures, Kadion has become a trailblazer in redefining how we think about the marketplace and their role in today's business strategies. Under his leadership, Caribshopper has grown to showcase nearly 10,000 products and more from over 650 brands, shipping to customers across the United States and Canada. Today, we're going to be diving into the discussion about the online marketplace in 2025, exploring how platforms like Caribshopper are evolving, what businesses need to know to succeed on a marketplace, and the trends shaping the future of marketplace e-commerce. So, without further ado, please welcome to Digital World, Mr. Kadion Preston.
Thank you so much, Keron. I couldn't write that. I don't know where you get that information from, but I hope it's true.
Yo, don't worry, man. The team does their homework. The team does their homework, and
So,
I know we're in good company, man. How have you been?
good man, good man. I'm happy to be alive in 2025. How that sound?
Yeah, no, say that again for real. How was the Christmas and the New Year's for you? Personally, like where's your headspace at? Because I know this is what the mission that you are on is a very big and important mission, and I hope you only got your rest somewhere in between there. So, how was the season for you?
I mean, the season was extremely busy. I mean, we had to be really grateful for just the support that we've gotten from our customers in this season. It was impactful. We didn't get any rest, that's for sure. I think my first non-14-hour day was the 23rd, and then took the 24th, 25th, and then we got right back at it on the 26th or the 27th, and then took a couple days on the 31st to the 2nd or the 3rd, and then we're right back at it. So feeling a little weary, but excited about 2025, excited about the learnings, excited about where the world is right now. It's crazy, but at the same time, there's opportunity for us, and e-commerce the adoption is growing, and we have, the TikTok conversations are going, there's a lot of things going, right? So I'm gonna just allow you to lead and tell me where you want us to go. But great Q4. We're grateful. A lot of merchants got a lot of sales and a lot of growth in the region. We're getting really excited to see how we expand out of Jamaica and Trinidad. We are 90% there in Guyana right now, and then we're looking at how we get to other islands efficiently and be able to offer the same solution that we're doing. So that's the big move.
No, that's huge. Now, just to set the stage for people who have never heard about Caribshopper, I alluded that you have a big mission and a very important mission at that. But talk to us about how Caribshopper started out. Why you made Caribshopper. This is for the people who have never heard of Caribshopper and tuning in and hearing you for the first time.
Sure. I mean, the nutshell of the story is, for far too long, legacy and leverage companies are the only companies that get to enjoy exporting their products internationally. And coming from the background that I have, where my mother was a manufacturer also, making this a possibility, whether you're small, medium, or large scale manufacturer, you can get your products to consumers living away from home. It's a goal, and has been the mission of the company to take Caribbean made to the world, and we're doing that, and we're excited about where the future lies. The reason I started this business was just that, right? And that mission has been fortified with the team, with our support partners, and it feels good to have accomplished that. Some days I don't take those accomplishments because our goals are much bigger than where we are, and you know, you're able to sit back and say, okay, we started at zero and we're able to do it, right?
Mm.
Um, Over 800 merchants able to get products into hands of customers living in all the way West Coast Canada or to
Wow.
Alaska to Hawaii. For I think the biggest story for me was our migrant workers. We had some migrant workers in Alaska. They were actually from Trinidad, and they were able to get their spices and their Berties, and now we're sending them roti from Trinidad. I mean, that right there, um, must be really a really happy feeling, and to see their emails come in saying thank you, that is a joy. And then also to see the impact that we have done on merchants. I mean, one amazing story, I was having a conversation with a merchant this week, Michael Cooper of Panland, and the growth of the pan industry. We're seeing customers buying full pan sets who are not Trini on our platform. Now that's huge for me to see that
Absolutely.
to see that customers interacted with the pan world in some way, shape, or form, whether they came to Trinidad or somebody introduced it to them. They love it and they're buying their own equipment and they're not Trini. That is huge for me. And to enable a manufacturer making that product has been a joy for me. And the years that Michael Cooper has been at this with the team at Panland, and how they have innovated on their goal of taking pan to the world, for us to support that is just great. I mean, interesting story, and I won't go into it much. They were working with Amazon at one point, and then Amazon shut that down for whatever the reasons were. And we were a part of their story from day one, and we doubled down on that story. And it's a great feeling. To put it simply, it's a great feeling.
No, that's huge. You said two really I think cool things. One, Trini's in Alaska.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They're working on oil pipelines. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that makes sense. I was about to say they really do say Trini's like salt. They're everywhere. But
yeah, they're
my
everywhere.
goodness, and
Yeah,
it's so funny because we don't talk about it enough, or these stories aren't told enough. But we have a diaspora like everywhere in the world. Even being in Thailand right now, there is a Trinidad and Tobago diaspora. There we have a good bit of Trinis that are out here. We have a good bit of Jamaicans out here too. And I mean, I showed you the video. I have been visiting my Jamaican spot pretty much religiously, at least once a week. So when I want to
hmm
get a little curry goat or some oxtail or some jerk, funny enough, it's actually been right. Just so people get the idea of how good the food is from the Jamaican spot. I say it's the best Jamaican spot that I've eaten at outside of Jamaica. And the difference with Jamaica is, and why I don't think anybody could ever compete with it out of Jamaica is the way you guys prepare your food, like how you guys do jerk chicken or how you guys do pan chicken, the particular wood that you guys use, the process to get it. Most people just think jerk is a seasoning and done. Season it, bake it, call that a day in George, right? But I
yeah.
will give them their credit. Outside of Jamaica, their food has been one of the best Jamaican spots that I've eaten at. So, I'm glad to see that Jamaica is being well represented, and the owner of this spot is a Jamaican too. And
Nice.
then the second thing is that you're exporting pan. We keep on
Yeah,
talking about exporting pan, but you don't really hear about it. You don't really see it. We hear a lot of headlines, but again, we just don't really see it. So the fact that
yeah.
you are now exporting pan and you're confirming, I think that's a really big win for Trinidad and Tobago.
No, that's a big win for Trinidad and Tobago. Big win, big win, big win. You can't beat
No,
that. The
no,
home
you
of
really
pan
can't.
is exporting pan to the world. That's beautiful.
And your platform is the facilitator of that. So again, big ups to Caribshopper all day, every day. Now, from where Caribshopper started, right? From where it started, from where you first created the platform, how has Caribshopper evolved from where it started to where it is today in 2025?
Ooh. We started in 2020, Keron, and February to be exact. And the mission was there. But we had to make a lot of pivots on the way to accomplish it. I mean, our first beta wasn't until September 2021. And it's not because we didn't have an aggressive timeline to do that. We just had to manage how things were happening in the Caribbean with COVID. And then realizing that also that we should lean into that fear because we had fears like, are we going to be
Yeah.
able to do this in COVID? But when we leaned into that fear, realize COVID made it realistic that we have to do this, right?
Hmm.
And so getting through those hurdles and challenges, our first beta was in September 20. We were a different platform then, and we had probably 50 merchants, 60 merchants, I think the number was. And then, we smoothed out our kinks, we re-platformed, we built a new system. We move into 2022, we push. Um, at the end of 22, we opened up Canada. We were in the US only. I think at the end of 22, we were probably about 350 merchants, if the number serves me correctly. Then we roll into 23 and we start bursting at the seams with growth issues, growth challenges, and had to retool ourselves, right? Retool ourselves in how we manage the back end for our merchants, how we execute for consumers, just
Hmm.
everything had to change. And then from 23 to 24, we took those learnings, and I think from scratch, I think we're over 600% growth. If if
Wow.
if and it's on both sides. It's not just in sales. It's also merchants. It's also the products we serve, right? It's also, we never had pan in 22.
Yeah.
We got pan in 24,
Yeah.
and we're now mature enough to export pan and do it cost effectively and um, economically for both sides of the coin. Those developments it's just the resilience of sticking to it throughout all the challenges. And trust me, as an entrepreneur with a startup that's in now growth stages, there have been a million challenges, a million. I mean, I can't. We should have closed doors a long time ago, but we're here for a reason.
Nah. And again, credit to you because it all starts with you. You could have closed up doors a long time ago, but you have not been willing to lie down. You've kept on persisting. You've kept at it. And again, this
I
is a
don't know if that's a
very
good thing though, Keron. I don't know if that's a good thing. I have a lot of gray hair. I have a lot more gray hair. I have a lot more gray hair than I started out with. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's also a testament to the team too. I couldn't have done it on my own. This is not a one-man show. The team has been amazing, and there's so many people who have come in and add value. So please don't give me all the credit. I'm not the one.
Nah, but it's at the same time too, we need people like you and what Caribshopper does. We need the we pays. We need all of our main guys to innovate and break the doors because not everybody is capable of knocking those doors down except for you guys who are persistent, right? And it's only going to get better because Caribbean culture is being exported, and I think more people are trying to tap in. And the more awareness that gets raised with a lot of the things that's happening in the Caribbean, obviously the products is going to be another big thing that people are going to want to integrate into their lives. That being said, I mean, we have talked about this for years now, right? We have seen marketplaces come and go. I think at one point in Trinidad alone, there was something to the tune of like 40 marketplaces, right? And I don't think people really understood what a marketplace was. So just break it down. What is a marketplace? Because, like I said, we've heard so many brands. If you ask the average business owner what a marketplace is, they have no idea. So, what is a marketplace, and and why should a business utilize a marketplace?
Sure. A marketplace in general is um, a concentration or a gathering of retailers and consumers in one place, right?
Mhm.
But when you take that now to a digital world, so general markets, that's what it is. But when you now take that to a digital world, you're bringing the retailer or the manufacturer and you're bringing the consumer. You have a job to manage both expectations and realities on both sides while offering an extremely good product at the same time. To be successful, you have to offer a good product to both sides of the marketplace. It's a very hard balance because there's no chicken and egg, right? Interesting fact, when we're starting out, we'd have merchants. So how many customers do you have? We're just starting out, right? We're just starting out. But I guarantee you, it doesn't cost you to come on board, right? It doesn't cost you for us to catalog your product. It doesn't cost you for us to start putting your product to the world. But when we do, we'll be able to give you our yearly update on how many customers we have. Because today we're just starting out. And it's so interesting to me when merchants say to me, how many customers do you have? I turn back the question and say, how many customers do you have?
Do you have?
Right? How
Because
many
that's really the
customers do you
question.
have in the US? How many customers do you have in Canada? Because I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's that simple, right? This is not an interview. It's either you want to expand globally or not, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to be realistic in our expectations as human beings, but understand that, and Keron, I think you speak to this so much. People think that selling online is putting up a website. I love when they put up a website because you now get to understand what goes into delivering a product, delivering a service end to end in this digital world. Because so many times people have simplified that responsibility and don't know you probably have
Yes.
30 different people behind the scenes executing just to make sure that that pan left Trinidad on time and got to the customer's door on time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, you said it yourself too that people have oversimplified uh just being digital. They've oversimplified the website, they've oversimplified the marketplace. People don't understand my website, the back end of my website is open every single day.
so
Every single day, you're looking at some form of data. You're looking at what's performing for you. You're making adjustments every single day. So whenever I hear people say things like, they check their dashboards or their analytics, every 2 weeks or once a month, I am confused. I'm like, how? I want to see everything. Matter of fact, it's so bad now that especially because of the time difference for me when it's midnight back on the west, that's when my analytics refresh. That's midday for me. So as soon as midday for me hits here in Thailand, I'm looking at my analytics from what happened the day before. All right. So I'm
yeah.
always paying attention to that. That being said, when it comes to why a business owner needs that marketplace, right? I think one of the big questions I get is when should they get online and start utilizing a marketplace? At what point in their business should they be thinking about a marketplace? Because that's a whole strategy by itself.
That's a whole strategy by itself. I think when a merchant's thinking about when to scale, right? Because that's really the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number one, are you able to scale locally? That's the first question we ask. Are you in a
Mm.
store locally? Do you have a storefront? Are you outside of your home making this product? Are you able to scale this? Because if you are able to scale locally, that's the first indication that we can scale you internationally. And then we start looking at the big details. But the key identifier, Keron, is are you able to scale locally? And if you yourself in your business can't scale your product locally, then you can't scale internationally. That's just a fact.
Now, just to kind of drive that point home, right? Let's think about the person that is making soaps, right? Now, everybody wants sales. And I think the businesses that we tend to start, because you only focus on artisan businesses. So you focus on people that actually create the products and not people who are resellers of other people's products, right?
Yeah, we don't support resellers.
Right. Everything on your platform is going to be original. Now, for the person that is making soaps, they're doing small collections of soaps. Obviously, everybody's always thinking about the end goal. The end goal is more sales. If I'm a soap maker and I am only making small batches, at what point would you say I would be ready for you? Because like I said, people are making the products and they're thinking to themselves, I could just throw this on the website, I could throw this on Caribshopper and sell, but then they get the international attention and then they can't fulfill the order. So like at what point, do you think people that are just making things in their house, is there a particular number of products they should be kind of striving to kind of get to as like a bit of a benchmark?
So that's a good question. And capacity, right? So I hear
because
where
I feel
you're
like it's
going with
chicken.
it.
I feel like it's chicken and the egg with a lot of these small businesses as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't just want to ramp up.
No, you don't want to
have.
ramp up and have products sitting there. But so and I'll go back to what I said previously. If they're able to scale locally, for instance, if you're able to get your product into 2 outlets locally, let's just put it that simple,
Yeah.
right? 2 outlets locally. There's major things that you'd learn from that. You would know what your wholesale price is on a product, which is critical, right? You would have a process, and you'll also more than likely understand how to make your product in volumes. So not onesie twosie, you're able to, put out 50 to 100, right? If you have outlets, because you're not going to be on somebody's shelf if you're not selling. That's the facts. And so again, we simplify it, because when you go into the minutia, it gets tricky. It gets tricky. Can you make 100? Yeah, I can make 100 if we had 100 sales, right? But if you're right, if you're able to do it locally, then we could scale with you. And that's kind of how we built our tool, because we're not requiring a merchant, because the goal, we want to help small, medium, and large merchants. So we're able to help small merchants. But if you tell us you can do 20 units of your product, good. Then that's what we'll set as our inventory. But in your growth level, you also know that you need to be priced within market. Because if you're selling at an outlet, you've done the research on what the category pricing of your product is, and how to be profitable within that category. So it all benchmarks on that one category, or on that one statement. Are you scaling locally? Is your product in a commercial outlet locally?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, with respects to us seeing, just so many marketplaces, we've heard so many names over the years. What kind of sets Caribshopper apart from the other marketplaces that everybody would have been hearing about over the years?
We survived. All right, let's take this seriously.
People can't see me, but I'm dying right now because, like I said, at one point it was like 40, 50 marketplaces in Trinidad. I don't think, if I go back to my article, Kadion, if I go back to that article, I'm pretty sure if I click on everybody, their websites might be down.
Adios mío.
So That's a point. That's a good point. You survived. That's a good point.
I mean, that
so
wasn't
in
a
general,
shot. No, that wasn't
no,
a
but
shot. That was just the reality of this.
that's the reality.
That's the reality of this industry. And Karen, I'm just gonna give it to you as real and as raw as possible. Um, Outside of that, I think it's our business strategy that has helped us to survive and thrive. We were very specific. We were not doing local e-commerce. Again, if a merchant can scale locally, they can handle that. What we wanted
Yeah.
to do is solve the hardest problem for them. So that's number one, right? And
Mm.
no matter how many times we've been approached to make the platform accessible locally, we knew that it was the metrics and the cost of goods involved. It is very hard to be profitable that way. And I'm not saying that there are others who are profitable locally. Hats off to you. But for us, we didn't see the metrics lining up. The second thing, I think having a great board and team to support us through the hard times, because there certainly were a lot of them,
Mm.
helped out. And having a great team and the focus and being comfortable to saying we're wrong and retooling that focus. I don't know how many times I've apologized to the team, like my decision was wrong, but let's fix this. And so um adapting, yeah, it's really adapting
Mm.
and being strong in your decision making as far as it concerns what enables good business.
Right, right, right. How do you see marketplaces fitting into today's business structure?
That's quite a I see marketplaces, the trends that I've been reading, and marketplaces are evolving.
Mm.
Everybody was trying to mimic Amazon, and I wasn't one of them. Um, However, what I noticed is that niching down, being specific about what you provide, is becoming the route of marketplaces. And what's happening is a decentralization is happening,
Mm.
right? I'm seeing it happen in UK, North America, and Canada in different industries. And
Yeah.
I think that's where people are specializing, doubling down on that specialty and focusing on that specialty and becoming the marketplace for that specialty is where I see the greatest movement today. And I also think that there is going to be, over the next couple of years, there's going to be the concentration collapsing of different entities rolling up into bigger entities that already have the same customer base and strategy.
Why do you think the marketplaces have not been successful across the Caribbean?
Oof, messy, messy, messy.
No, no, it doesn't need to be because I think in general, I think there's a lot of holes in marketplaces locally without even being messy. Just population sizes, numbers not working, or customers or not customers, but businesses not understanding how to drive traffic. So if the platform isn't making money with the businesses, it doesn't really
Yeah,
work out
so
anyway. So yeah.
there's
So why
so
haven't the marketplaces really taken off in the Caribbean?
I think there's so many reasons for that, right? I think some people jumped on it because this was a lot around COVID, right? So that
Yeah,
was the trend. People jumped on it for trends, right?
yeah,
That's the first thing I could call out. It was trending.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people jumped on the trend and didn't really understand what it took to be successful at it.
yeah,
I think I think number two is really having a handle on your costs. It's not just figuring out the logistics. There's so many costs involved, right?
yeah.
And um, the sunken cost in this industry is significant. If you really don't have your hands wrapped around it, it creeps up on you and drowns you without you even knowing it's coming.
Mm.
And again, strategy. I've seen some great companies that are surviving that started in COVID that are
Yeah.
doing excellent, excellent. I think in TT, these two girls started this company. I met them a couple years ago, and I think it's called Drift. What's that platform called? Keron.
Drift? Not sure.
It does. Why am I not remembering them right now? Um, I'll remember in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But you have some really good companies that really had a handle on their operations, their costs. They had a strategy, and they knew what they were doing, and they were able to execute on it. And I think
Mhm.
when I've analyzed just doing local e-commerce, no matter if it was profitable in COVID, I didn't see it being long-term profitable because when
Mm.
when we opened back up, people went back to their behaviors and really understanding who is your customer and that consumer's behavior. Are you changing the behavior where it's totally different from what they're used to? And does this behavior make sense, right? You
Yeah.
the analysis that you have to do to understand who your customer is, how you're serving them, and if the product that you're offering them, is it a painkiller or is it a supplement?
Mm.
People buy supplements, but they stop using them after a month. Painkillers are going to be consistently in that medicine cabinet,
Mhm.
right? And so understanding where you fit in your customer's journey is key. And I think that's what we have doubled down on and been fortunate to survive and thrive.
Dive into some of the key problems that you solve for business owners because I think that's a very important thing that business owners understand
Mhm.
exactly what are the problems that online marketplace like a Caribshopper solves for them. They probably don't even know. Some of them don't even know that they have these
They don't
problems
even
or would
real.
have them.
Here's the thing that pisses me off at night. So let me start venting, right? They don't even realize how we save them. We
Hmm.
literally just
Talk
ask that
about
the
it.
manufacturer gives us their product at wholesale or distribution cost. They don't have web hosting. They don't have transaction processing, they don't have shipping, they don't have packing, they don't have customer service. They don't have a host of things. If you want to go create your own website, you have all these things to handle, and good luck to you. Okay. You're going to have to know how many products you need to sell to be profitable. Because if these things are not in place, you will not do well online. So go figure that out. Right. So we we are turnkey. Like today, Keron make a product. You can make it at scale. People want it. Sign up to Caribshopper, and we'll sell this product in the US and Canada for you. And you don't have that headache of costs.
Mm.
I mean, I've told my merchant success team, like, we're not arguing with merchants anymore. If you can't um, provide a price point that works for us, where we're not charging you up front, we're incurring all these costs, and we can't do business. And that's okay. That's okay. Back in when we just started, we were eager to get merchants on and figure it out because there's a lot of things that we didn't figure out. But now at maturity, we know the value that we bring to merchants, right? So let me repeat. You don't have
Yes.
you don't have a website to manage. Number one, you don't have processing fees and to deal with the challenges around payment processing and issues with customers, the whole nine yards that comes up with. You don't have to worry about logistics. We take care of that. We, we're taking care of the customer service challenges that might occur. We also take care of the communication. The only thing that we ask merchants to do is number one, provide a good product, meet our deadlines. Number two, push your product to the world. Tell them that your product is available on Caribshopper. Do yourself that favor. And sometimes that becomes really hard. We ask that you just tell people also that you can find your product at Caribshopper. Again, bane of my existence. But again, I guess in the Caribbean, we're slow to learn and react. So you have to be patient with us as a people.
That being said, right? And again, we're having this conversation because it needs to be said, and I want people to understand this from, the business perspective, but also what they're getting into. What are some of the unrealistic expectations that people have about a marketplace that you need to, this is your chance to rant right now. What are some of the unrealistic expectations that people have of marketplaces that, we can burst those myths immediately?
Big myth that people have about marketplaces is that the marketplace is going to make you successful. Like once you list your product, that's it. You have no other job. Yeah.
Autopilot.
Autopilot. I just sit back and make
AI.
money.
Caribshopper's AI.
I sit back and make money. I'm cruising. Right? That is the biggest myth. Second biggest myth is that that's the biggest myth. That's the biggest myth. I think the others people are learning. I think that they feel that they don't have a responsibility after that. And yeah, I think that's it. That's the biggest myth for me. That is the biggest issue.
And that is such an important issue, because regardless of whether you have a website or whether you're utilizing a marketplace, the one thing that is true for both is you have to market your business, right? Just like if you had a physical store, you're still going to be doing activities to advertise your business, to drive traffic into your store, right? However, funny enough, because I have seen it, I have seen people comment about malls not doing enough to attract people to the mall. And I'm like, why are you passing over the responsibility to the mall owners? Why wouldn't you be focusing on driving traffic to your store? Because even when I had my brick and mortar store, I was in a plaza, and I was creating all this content, doing all of these things. Half the time I was never physically in the store to begin with, because I was on the road doing all these things. And my neighbor, who had a shop near me, he had a health food store and he never had anybody. So he would always call me or message me and be like, hey, somebody's outside the store. They're trying to get in. And then one day he pulled me aside and he's like, yo, half the time you're never here. How are you getting all of these people to come to your location when we have nobody coming in? And I was like, well, are you creating content on social media? He's like, I have a Facebook page. I'm like,
what does that mean?
What is that?
People are just going to look for you. They're just going to look for you.
People are just supposed to look for you. Like, what does that mean? Like, the reason why I'm getting this traction is because I'm doing all of these other things, and that's bringing traction to the store. Next question for you is, Kadion, now that I think about it, what is the difference between the work that gets done for a physical mall, like how people drive traffic to a physical mall? I think there's an analogy that people like to use, and it kind of bothers me when I think about it, which is, an online marketplace is just like a digital mall, but how you drive traffic to both is so different. So, like, what are some of the differences that happens with a physical mall versus the online marketplace? And again, people describe it like a digital mall.
So a physical mall has a physical space that they occupy, right? And it becomes a destination in that community, that area, whatever, right? It's very easy for them to put up signs that people can drive past and see and all of that. And in most of these mall structures, they're looking for those cross sections of where they're putting their location as a key driver, right? We're going to be ideally located. That's the word you look for, right? Ideally located in this area. So it's convenient for people to get to. It's convenient for people to notice. It's in high traffic areas. So that solves the mall's problem. It's very simple. Just picking the right location to build that mall.
Yeah.
Online, you are in a sea and there's no right location. You have to create that right location. There is no, you're on the crossroads of St. James and Hanover Street. No. You're in a blanket sea, the ocean. You're in the ocean, and you are sending flags up for every ship and everything that's passing by to let them know that this is your location and this is what you do and this is how you do it. And how you do that has a major skill sets that are needed to accomplish that at success, at scale. And the other frustration is that when we advertise different merchants or we pick different products for different things, I'll have merchants call me and say, how come you didn't pick my product? Brother man, I don't know what to tell you, but we'll try to get to you on the next, showcasing of different things. I mean, I personally didn't do it, but it is doing this in the digital world is much harder.
Absolutely.
There is no, people can say, oh, well, a high traffic lane is Facebook Marketplace. Oh, that's a couple 100,000 people. Go figure. You got to figure that out too, right? And with everything, it's understanding how to get noticed and how to show up for what people are looking for. And that's a skill set, right? That's actually a big job title right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the headache that you go through in trying to drive traffic to your website, especially because it's the digital world. We don't necessarily have to buy from you. There's so many other places all throughout the world that we can get our products from, right? You have a lot of competition. When you think about the customer journey, how do people discover products? People tend to Google problems or questions they have. And from that Google search going on the rabbit hole, usually is going to end up leading them to a product or a service where they can go and make that purchase, right? That's a very different situation than a physical mall where somebody just drives by the ideal location. They decide, you know what, I feel for a slushie. Let me pull over and go into Dairy Queen. But whilst they grab that slushie from Dairy Queen, they walk the mall. Right?
Yeah.
They walk the mall. But that doesn't necessarily happen on a marketplace. Like, when is the last time you've gone on Amazon and you've just gone through all of the stores on Amazon? Not possible.
Not
and
possible.
You don't.
Not possible. Good luck.
And you don't.
Right.
Chances are you've Googled something that's led you to a product, which led you to a link for the product for that store on Amazon. You add to cart and you purchase, but you went particularly for that one thing because that customer journey from the Google search led you to that product on the platform. So, Kadion, for businesses, what are some of the things that businesses need to be doing in order to be driving traffic to their store within your digital marketplace?
They need to be looking at this as in just as if they're that guy standing outside their store, waving the flag and shouting out what they're selling in the mall to attract the traffic that's passing by. And I must put it that simple, right? They have they can reach out on their social networks. If they don't have social networks, they can send messages to WhatsApp. They can push to get an article done. They can push to get an interview done. They can do the same things that they would do to get their product in local outlets. They can let the world know what's special about their product, where to find it, and how easy it is. Because before 2021, you could do that, but the customer couldn't get your product, or you're trying to mail it through the mail that would take 3 weeks to get to that person, and there's no guarantees. So now that you have that, you just need to understand you do the same work and it works. And the thing about it, this year, Caribshopper's rule is that we're only doubling down on merchants who double down on themselves. So if you are working on getting your product out there, we're working with you. And we're not doing any favoritisms here. We have over 8,000 products. There's no way, right?
Yeah.
But we're doubling down on who's doubling down. And that's where we stand.
What are some of the common mistakes that people make when signing up with the marketplace?
The biggest common mistake is thinking that it should be easy cheesy, and why are you asking me for my product description? Why are you asking me for a SKU number? Why are you asking? Guys, it's the same thing you would do if you were putting your product on a shelf in Massey. It's the same process you'd do if you're trying. Actually, the process is worse if you're trying to go on Amazon. Good luck. Good luck. Good night. Right? This is the same process you would do if you were opening your own store. These are all basic processes. Why you can't take these pictures of my product? Because they suck. How about that? And we have a structure. So we need to take the pictures.
So, as you mentioned that structure, that structure is put in place to help businesses succeed. So what are some of the key things a business needs to do to find success on the platform? You already named one, which was the pictures.
Yeah, some of the key things that business need to do to find success on the platform is, one, understand that you have a responsibility. And your responsibility is letting the world know about how special your product is. Number two, is to work closely with us. Put us in your bi-weekly call to work through, update us on things about your business that we could use in different ways. Number three, understand that this is just as important as your physical locations. It is a location. It is a destination for your product. So the amount of effort that you put in is the amount of results that you'll get out.
That's big. And I think I really want people to understand that there's a lot of work that you have to do to drive traffic to your store or your stall on the marketplace. The platforms do not do everything for you. Even if you went on Amazon, again, Amazon's not going to do everything for you. Now, I know one of the questions that you get asked a lot is, what is the difference between selling on Amazon versus selling on Caribshopper? And then secondly, can you do both?
Number one, you can do both. The difference between us and Amazon is that we understand how to work with our Caribbean community. Amazon has rules that if you're not up to par, they don't care, right? We care. We're focused on the mission. We want your product to be successful. You're just another number to Amazon. And that's the big difference. And the second big difference is that we don't charge an upfront fee. And the reason for that is we understand if we're charging merchants the upfront work that we do, you're talking about $40 US a month. What's the US limit now in TT, Keron?
2,000.
2,000. So we're taking away your allocation, right? And I don't know if that will last forever, because we do a lot of front loading of work for our merchants. This is not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But we care about your success and we want to do good business with you. Amazon just sees you as a number, and there's no changing of their policies. They don't care about your success. And if you want to list and don't say anything, go pay those $50 a month If you do FBA, go pay the storage fee, go pay those money. They'll collect that money and they'll just sit there.
Facts.
Big diff.
Facts. No, that's just what it is, folks.
And just to be very clear, I have no hate on Amazon. I have nothing but respect for what they've done.
Yeah, yeah. They've done some amazing things, point blank, you know, but if you are coming from the Caribbean, understand that Amazon is not a cakewalk. There's probably a lot more that you have to learn that's very specific to the Amazon platform that most people are just not willing to do and kind of keep up with that headache. Now, one of the things that Caribshopper prides itself on is the data that it is able to um, collect and collate from all of the sales. You know, what types of data should a business be looking at when they're selling on a platform like Caribshopper? Because I know most businesses, I mean, it's the Caribbean, we're still kind of anti-data. But I also think a big part of it is because nobody's kind of really held their hand and kind of showed them, you know, what are some of the things that they should be looking for when it comes to data that they should be paying attention to. So I know you stare at data 24/7. You're always looking at what's happening on the platform. As a business listing on Caribshopper, what are some of the key data points that they should be kind of paying attention to?
They should be paying attention to their weekly, daily sell-through rates. Number one, what product is the market going after? Where those customers are coming from? The traffic, the search traffic that they're getting on that product. They should be paying attention to just outside of my platform, what's the Google search on your product? What is the different search engines demand for that product? How many people are searching? Where they're coming from? Where is this? And that's free knowledge, right? And they should be looking at their click-through data. How many people have clicked on their product to buy? And jump on the phone with your Caribshopper merchant success person and say, hey, do you know why people are just adding to cart and not checking out? Or what can we do? Sometimes it's your price. Sometimes it is different factors. Maybe you weren't clear on your ingredients. Maybe you weren't clear on your expiration time. Customers are very educated in today's world. And before anything, they're looking at reviews on a product if it's a new product. Then they're looking at the ingredients. Then they're looking at competitive analysis of that product. And so, and it's all right there in fingertips in a couple of seconds, they can get this information. So we have to be armed and provide that information, and we'll have better outcomes.
You are considered the champion of Caribbean culture. You know, what are some of the ways that Caribshopper has kind of innovated getting Caribbean products into, you know, new customers' hands to try it out and just get familiar with new brands? You know, what are some of the ways that you guys have been able to do that over the years?
One of we've done it multiple ways. I think the biggest one was what we did last year with our Brata program, where we signed up merchants for a program we called Brata. You would give us testers of your product. And every order that came in, we would add your tester with a card and a QR code about your product. That a customer who has never seen it, touched it, felt it, tried it, would get a chance to physically try that product in a tester form of your product, being able to give you commentary on it, give us commentary on it. They liked it, what they liked about it, and if they're interested to buy it in the future. That brought a program started showing percentages of conversions, because there's no better way of showcasing new products than for a potential customer to have it in their hand. And that's something that we're doubling down on in 2025. Our Brata program is going to get bigger. And then what we've done with our gift boxes year round, this year our gift boxes like really took another leap, and now we're going to be doing gift boxes all year round, because one customer told us, who's not Caribbean, ship these gift boxes to non-Caribbean people, Said the thing that excites them is the difference your gift box has and the thoughtfulness of the products. And it just gives a different vibe. It's like me buying Keron Rose a gift box from Japan with Japanese products that he's never tried, but it's the novelty of that. And we have that. And so that sent off a lot of signals in my brain and in the team's brain, and we doubled down on that. And already in the first couple of weeks, we're seeing clients who are now, it doesn't need to be Christmas to use the Caribshopper gift box, right? And so that's a big initiative going into next year. And we're picking products that are aligned with the different styles of gift boxes we'll offer for corporate. And that's another way we're exposing products that people have never tried, never seen, never done. And of course, we have our consistent emails, SMS, blog, and different things. And every month we drop an email saying, what's new, right? And it's talking about the new products we have added. It goes out to our entire customer base, our entire subscription base, which is north of 60,000 people now. And they're getting to see what's new. You go to the website, there's a page saying recently added, new products, product highlights. We are doing our job in just not being it, and no disrespect to any long-standing manufacturers of great products from the Caribbean, but there's a lot of new products coming in, and they're innovative, and they're creative, and they're solving problems, and the world needs to know about them.
Absolutely. What are some of the products that you have been seeing doing really well on the platform?
That's the other day.
It doesn't have to be specifics. It could be generalized. But yeah, go ahead.
So we'll generalize it because once I do that, then I'll get a phone call. Why you didn't talk about my product, right?
And that's why I threw that in there.
Health products. I think the world has gotten really educated on living healthy. I think everybody has. And I think even the platform that they're shutting down on Sunday, TikTok, so many videos taught you so many things that you didn't know, right?
Absolutely.
And people are becoming way more educated about their health. And so we're seeing an uptick in health products in just the natural teas that come from our region, the natural products, because they know that in the Caribbean, we're not using half the things that international manufacturers are putting in their products, the red dyes, the this, the that. I mean, big thing in the US, red dye shutdown. I mean, they're pulling off M&Ms, they're pulling off things off the shelves here that, God help those manufacturers, they're gonna have to call an insurance for that because they probably have stockpiles of those products that have that ingredient in it, right? That's been causing cancer. People are being a lot more deliberate about how they take care of themselves, and they actually have a different trust level for the way that we do things. People call it old school. I think the new tag for that is genuine, right? We actually care.
Yeah. There has to be a story of a seller on your platform that's really touched your hearts. Give us a story of a Caribbean success story from the platform that was really touching to you and the team, that you were really happy to kind of just be a part of that process.
Well, I think one of the biggest ones, there is a company that founder started a product, and I'm going to not put that founder out there as much as I can. So they started a pepper product, a pepper sauce product. Really good. Solo entrepreneur, started it from in their house, got literally some support, got the machine, started making it. That founder got opportunities to get onto in stores, but just the machine couldn't do what the stores needed, the allotments. And at one point, I think when I had the conversation, when my team members had the conversation with the founder, um, they tricked me. I was in the office and they said, try this sauce. And I tried it and I was like, what the heck is this? This is good. And they're like, yeah, this is a brand we want to bring on. They're having capacity issues. Had a
Yeah.
conversation with the founder. I jumped on the phone, had a conversation with the founder. He told me where things were, and we said if we could, guarantee you 100 units on an order because this sauce is amazing, um, would that help you in resuscitating your dream? And the guy said yes. I had a wholesale order to complete, and it was for a big restaurant chain in the US. And I said, hey guys, you need to try this and put this sauce in your restaurants. And so I sent the owner, I told him I'd send him one. I sent it.
Yeah.
Owner tasted it, said they loved it, and they made the order, and they've been consistently ordering. And that manufacturer today now has a bigger machine and is expanding. And that was a big story because that started, I think, February 2024. And to see where we are now in December, what 10 months could do, that was huge.
Wow. Wow.
That was
No,
huge.
that's key. And again, this is why I say the mission of Caribshopper is so important because there's if he were to do that on his own, right? So even if let's just say that business, that restaurant in the state, let's just say they flew in to one of the islands and tasted that sauce and wanted to make the order. You know what are some of the challenges that small business? Because I mean, even when you market your business and you make the right connections and you get notice, there's still all the the in between of getting your product to that person. So even if they make the connection, what are some of the challenges that an owner would face to even fulfill that big order?
Um, yeah, when you're going through financial challenges, it's you know it creates stress because if your partners aren't aware of your realities, their expectations are going to be something that you can't meet. And it's going to be a
Yeah,
non-starter in the beginning, right? Oh, so I give you this order for 200 bottles. You can deliver it by Sunday when the guy really needs a deposit and he really needs a month to get this done because of where he's at, right?
right.
And there's no empathy in business, and there should be a little bit more empathy, but transparency also needs to take place. But again, that entrepreneur could have pulled it off. They were in a mental state and the stage that they were. Um, I don't think our input changed their trajectory if they were going to stay in business or not, even though they were considered. I think our input helped give them that lift to keep going at that moment in time.
Yeah.
At that moment in time.
Mm. We're in 2025. There's a lot of maturity amongst key technologies from AI to blockchain to augmented reality. With the if you whip out your crystal ball, what technologies do you see impacting the online marketplace experience?
What? I'm not even gonna whip out my crystal ball. Shout out to Larry Hercules, TT Massive. We are we are working on our AI attack right now. We're building some custom GPTs with the great Larry and his team. Uh,
Absolutely.
that's gonna have a major impact for us. And I think augmented reality is going to be the future of commerce, in just the way you do product description, right? Um,
Mm.
I see it a year from now that when like when you go on, let's use Amazon, when you go on Amazon and there's a product that catches your eye and you go straight to the video. You see the pictures, but you go
Yeah.
straight to the video showcasing how the product is used to make sure
Yeah.
all the specifications fit you.
Yeah.
I think once they figure out how to cheaply embed augmented reality to that product, which we're seeing at the conference last 2 weeks ago at Magic, there
Yeah.
is some tools coming out that makes it simple. You're going to see more, and now with the augmented reality glasses that look like regular glasses, not the big frame, you're going to see more products showcasing use cases of that product using augmented reality, and that's going to be a big seller.
Hmm. Have you, and I'm sure, well, now that you mentioned Larry, I'm sure this is where that conversation was going, but have you given thought about integrating AI chatbots to the website? So let's just say I'm feeling hungry and I'm living in the States. I'm like, man, I could eat a nice jerk chicken right now. So I jump onto Caribshopper, I type in I want jerk chicken, and that AI bot tells me everything that I would need, and here you go. Has been any thought given to how we integrate AI into the marketplace?
So we still have competitors in this world, Keron, and this is an open radio station. So just to answer that question very carefully, we're looking at AI from
Okay, you know what? Hold on. Before you say it, okay. Instead of making it about Caribshopper, let me rephrase it then. How do you see AI and chatbots, working alongside marketplaces to enhance the customer experience?
absolutely. I think first you got to look at your platform if people are using your chat utility, and they also have to position it right. Once you figure
Mhm.
out that cross section, right, where people click on a product, if they stay on it for 5 seconds, then a chatbot comes up and says, "Can I help you with anything?" Most people X that out, but if the chatbot said, "Hey, I can share any info you need, any questions you might need to answer," just how it's positioned, that person might now be comfortable in interacting and asking those questions and getting that detailed answer. Again, it's not just as easy as implement. Like, I don't want nobody go away from this conversation saying there's a ton of chatbots that you can buy, pay for, subscribe to. But there's a process in implementing, right? Like you have to train that chatbot on your database, train that chatbot how you want it to speak, know where you're positioning it on the website, know where it creates value for your consumer. There's a whole process. But just to say, yes, we are working on that. We're also working on a really cool tool that we're building a custom GPT on, to augment our process. And then we're really there's something that we're doing really cool on the front end of things. We're not touching augmented reality yet. That is just not in our budgets or time, and we don't think it's necessary for us at this moment, but we know
Yeah.
it's coming in the future. But yeah, AI we're all over it. But we're all over it, not expecting it to create miracles. Again,
Yeah.
when I have conversations with my friends, they're like, I'm into AI. I'm gonna create a company for me. I'm like, what? What? You said you're into AI? And what are you gonna do? How are you gonna do this? Do you understand what this is? You need to go back to school and do some learning because you're talking caca to me right now. I mean, it's just you gotta understand it. And so um there's tremendous value that AI is going to create for a lot of companies. You just have to implement it right. You just have to be clear on what it's and the value it's going to create for you.
I have two questions before we wrap up because anytime we have these conversations, the time flies. It's already been an hour already. So, thank everybody
I
for,
hope people don't
sticking
stop
with
tuning
us.
into us. I hope them don't stop tuning into us.
Nah, listen, Pete, listen, I'm always surprised. People listen and they take their notes and then literally they'll come. And I've had people email me literal recaps of the show with their notes. And I'm just like, wow, you just don't realize, what impact we're creating with these conversations.
That's
That being
right.
said, you know, how do you, how do you see Carib shoppers role in the mission of building more Caribbean businesses and promoting the culture, how high on the list of reasons why Caribshopper is doing this is that the promotion of Caribbean entrepreneurship and Caribbean culture?
It's number one. Look, the mission, Keron, is we hope, and I'll say this as we hope that when we're done, Keron Rose doesn't have to move to the Philippines to build a product or to the US or Canada. He can do it right there from his home country of Trinidad. He can do it, or the next Kadion can do it right there from his home country of Jamaica. So at success, we hope we'd have created the bridge and access from the Caribbean, making a Caribbean product to the world. And it's that simple. You make it, you can take it to the world. It's not the challenges that we've faced over the last 50 years. It's now a different reality. And if we can do that, then, which interestingly we are, but if we can even do it better, where Keron in Philippines can now get the products he wants from Trinidad, even sitting right there in Philippines. Let's not talk about nearshore US and Canada. That's great. Our goal is worldwide. We want to make that Keron can sit down in the Philippines and get that, whatever he wants. So if he's missing home, he can access it. Now that's the goal, and that's where we are going to.
Yeah. And I love it because again, like we're in this time where the traditional way that people live, the traditional way that people work, those things are a thing of the past now. Now we're moving towards a very borderless economy where people can live and work from anywhere in the world. That being said, when I'm in Thailand, you want to see the greatest collection of people of color together? It's at the Jamaican restaurant. It's at the Jamaican restaurant, guaranteed. And he has and I got to interview him, right? I have to interview him because he has a monopoly. Like every Caribbean person is Googling, where can they get a curry chicken? Where can they get they're Googling where can they get a piece of back home, right? We're living in Asia. There's a lot of benefits to being here, but guess what? You're nowhere close to the US. You're nowhere close to Canada. So the assortment of snacks and foods and things like that, right? We don't have the option. So being able to, if we ever get to that point where now we can order from Caribshopper and we can receive these products here, again, that would be tremendous. And that opens up more opportunities for everybody because people are moving all over the world. They still want to get the Caribbean goods. And, you're positioning Caribshopper to be that big player, to be that facilitator. As we wrap, Kadion, 2025 is a big year. What can people expect from Caribshopper and the platform?
2025, it's a growth year. And I think what people can expect is that we're going to get better internally. We're going to offer a better service than we are today. It's our number one goal. I think, and I believe that this year is a defining year for us. Every year should be a defining year for our company, but it's a defining year for us in how we showcase scale and how we showcase executing on our mission. The learnings we've had in 2024, the challenges we've gone through in 2024 is setting up 2025 to be impactful. And it starts with we're going to be better. And that's where it needs to be, to our merchants, to our team, to our partners. We're going to be better. And that's where we're going to start. And that's going to have a direct impact in how we're perceived and how we strive.
I love it. Kadion, closing remarks to the Freedom 106.5 listeners.
Big up. Big up Freedom 106. I mean, you guys have made your platform very accessible to me, and I appreciate that. And Keron, nothing but love and respect for you and the team. And you know, TT is our second home. And we welcome merchants from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago to come on in. And by the way, we need to get onto Tobago. That we have not gotten a merchant from Tobago, and that needs to happen. We need to make that happen. So for all those listening out there, we want to make products from Tobago accessible internationally. So let's make that happen.
Absolutely. Where can everybody find more information about Caribshopper?
They can find information more about Caribshopper at Caribshopper on all digital platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on LinkedIn, we're at Caribshopper. We've kept it very simple.
Love it. Caribshopper across the board.
And of course, our website is www.caribshopper.com. Sorry about that, Keron. I'm not saying, go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just about to say, if all else fails, Google it, you'll get to the website.
You'll find it. You'll find us.
Kadion, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on the digital world to talk all things online marketplaces and Caribshopper. And again, good luck on the mission for continuing to make entrepreneurship across the region accessible and getting Caribbean products into the hands of everybody in the US and Canadian markets. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Keron. Thank you, team at Power 106 FM.
Thank you. That was Kadion. That was Kadion Preston from Caribshopper, right here on Freedom 106.5 FM. An extremely insightful conversation, and I hope that all businesses really took the time to take notes because there was a lot of information that was given. I believe everybody should be on a platform like Caribshopper. Go ahead. It doesn't cost you anything to list your products. I think you should be on the platform because they take care of so many key things for you. You don't have to worry about the payments, right? So they're sorting out the payments. So when people are purchasing the products, you don't have to worry about integrating any of the payment processors into your own website. But then most importantly, they handle the logistics. These are things that you would have had to have gone out on your own and figured out for yourself. So they're handling the payments, they're handling the logistics, and they're getting your products from Trinidad and Tobago or Jamaica, and they're getting into the hands of people in the United States and also in Canada. And I forgot to ask him, the update on the UK, but I know UK is on the board as well, right? We are going to take a quick break. We have some bills to pay. We have more digital world after this. Davey, please give me some commercials to pay our bills and let's jam to some music.